Well, howdy, 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 and welcome back once again to a fine episode of the Withlacoochee River Report. The one report where you can be highly offended by my compelling rhetoric. Today I'm just testing out some F units. Or not some F units, some RS3s. These are old Atlas Kato build RS3s. Nice units. You know what? Back in the 80s when these first came out, I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford a couple of them, even at $39 a piece, which is what the retail was back then. But I was able to get them fairly cheaply lately. One of them I actually got new in the box at Dana's. I think he sold it to me for like 30 bucks or something like that. And the other one I was able to pick up at one of Dana's one of the train sales. It was a used unit, so I got it at a used price. As you can see, I did manage to make the necessary adjustments to that TTX F39A flat car, and it's going around the layout just fine now. I had to bore out the truck bolster. Here in a moment, I'm going to give this report's going to be just a little bit short tonight because I'm going to give a rather long commentary on F units and what I think of them and the F units that are on the market and which ones I think are best. F units. That's right, the diesel that basically did it. Probably the biggest selling diesel of all time up until, of course, the mid-60s or sometime in the 70s when second and third generation diesel started taking over. And well, of course, the big seller by that time was actually the GP9. I've got varying... somebody on YouTube had asked, what was my opinion? Which ones were best? It depends really on what you're looking for. This old Atlas unit, I paid, I think, like $39 for it. And that's been its price since the 1970s, and that's if you happen to find one new in the box, sitting in a hobby shop, such as I found this one. Of course, I've stripped the B&O off of the sides, and she will have a different road name once I get done with her. Don't know yet what road name it's going to have. Same pretty much with these others that have off-road names. Now, of course, the CB&Q units, I'll keep CB&Q. Santa Fe units will be kept Santa Fe. And if I ever get my hands on any Rio Grande units, well, naturally. Obviously, I don't have all of my F units in the shop at the same time here. I have many more than this. I have other Stewarts. I have old Athearn blue box units and things like that. And somebody wanted to know what my opinion was of what I thought was the best F unit on the market today. The best F unit? Well, it depends, again, like what I just said earlier. It depends on what you're looking for, what kind of value you're looking for. If you're looking for just sheer cheap, well, the best ones on the market are still the old Athearn blue box. Good, solid, well-built units. You can't beat them for durability. Detail-wise, yeah, you're talking about technology from the 1950s. It's, been revamped and redone, and the molds have been revamped over and over and over again. And they still, the molds probably still, those original old Globe F7 molds probably still have a lot of shots left in them. Some tooling is forever. As far as, like I said, economically speaking, if you're looking for good, solid, dependable performers that can be well detailed, and even actually in today's world, with today's super detailed diesels out of the latest Chinese factory, can still hold their own against that in many different ways. Maybe not perfect, and certainly wouldn't win any contests, but that's probably about the best one out there for value. My next choice up from that, of course, would be the old Stewart F3s or any of the old Stewart F units, of the Kato built variety. I don't have any of the Bowser built, or any of them other than a dummy that was a Bowser built. I'm sure Bowser has probably is working with a company in China, which would be par for the course. These old Atlas FP7s can still be found. $25, $30, $35, and you've got you an F unit. Although the FP7, unlike the F7, the FP7 is actually 4 feet longer to accommodate a larger steam generator than what you would have found in a standard F7. It's still basically an F unit. You know, it's just a little bit longer. Those are a good value. They're old Roco. They run good. Now, if you're looking for something to run with DCC as opposed to DC only, which is what I run as DC only, if you're looking for DCC and you don't feel like detailing your own locomotives or anything like that, you just want to get this thing out of the box and put it on the track. The Proto 2000 from Walthers, believe it or not, some of the best detailed locomotives on the market. The Genesis series F units from Athearn, again, some of the finest looking locomotives on the market. Many of these do come with DCC and sound. So, you know, I know the Athearn Genesis units, you know, the ones that come with a DCC board in them also come with sound in them. While the sound ain't that great to those of us who listen to a lot of sound, it's still better than nothing if you're just starting out. Again, for value, personally, since I'm sticking with DC at the moment, strictly for value, I would I like my P1K units, my P1K F3s. That's another fine one. You know, they run very smooth. The problem with the P1Ks is at the time they were brought out, at the time they were brought to market, many of them are, and the Athearns at the same time, because they use the same drive axle gear in them, these gears have a tendency to split. And when they split, of course, you get a lot of clicking sound as the unit goes down the track. And then, of course, when more than one of them splits, that unit ain't going nowhere. It's going to sit there and run its motor. It's just a simple matter of switching out your drive axles with Athearn drive axles, or if you can get them from Walthers, the drive axles that they would supply, chances are they probably got them from Athearn. So your P1K units, when you can find them, and often you can find old Kato built Stewart F units, from $25 to $60 to $70 each. Yeah, I know there's a few out there, they've got it in the original box and it's all original and they'll tell you it's brand new in the box. That's crap, because the moment they took it out of the hobby shop, it was used merchandise. You know, hey, drive a brand new car off the lot and then try to get your money out of it the next day. Yeah, right, that ain't happening. You've lost half its value or better, you know, just driving it off the lot. You own it. It's your baby. So, you know, the moment you drive it off the lot, you're upside down on it if you're making payments on it, if you didn't pay cash for it. You're upside down on it anyway if you wanted to go get your money back. Ain't happening. So, you know, take it out of a hobby shop, it's the same, to me it's the same basic thing. It's used merchandise. You might not have ever taken it out of the box. It's used merchandise. And I'm not going to give you an arm and a leg for it. I am not going to give you the retail price for it. I can promise you that. There's really only been 1 or 2 locomotives that I've picked up new in the box. One of them was this Atlas FP7. I got that at Dana's. Paid the $39 for it. It was still in its original box. Now see, the difference is, that's Dana's. It was still a hobby shop. I was willing to pay the $39 for that FP7. I think I got, let's see, oh yes, one I didn't mention, which is an excellent, excellent F unit, is this baby here, is from Intermountain. Another fine piece of machinery. Their detail is exceptional. The mechanism is exceptional, even though it's from China also. So I didn't want to leave out any of the manufacturers. Bachmann Plus is a fairly decent product line. Stay away from the old standard Bachmanns, but the Bachmann Plus, and if they ever bring out, if Bachmann ever puts anything like that under their Spectrum line, that would be a fairly decent item too. Basically, it's the same setup as you would actually find inside the Intermountain. It's not as good, or the quality is not as high as the Intermountain. Now, the problem with the Intermountain units, if you buy one new, now I got this one at a deal. I got it off of eBay, so I got it at probably half of what you would have to pay for it at a local hobby shop. I got it for about 40 bucks or 50 bucks, somewhere in there. So and I think they're, what, $125 now each? Another batch of F units I've got is, I've got a 4-unit set of Santa Fe War Bonnet F7s that were done up by Model Rectifier Corporation. Those are good runners. They're nice engines. They're well-detailed engines. Not as well detailed as the Intermountain, but they are well detailed. The lighting on them leaves somewhat to be desired, but you know, if you're not overly concerned about headlights and stuff like that, then that's the way it goes. You know, that would not be a bad unit to have. As far as maybe you want to paint your own road name on one or something like that, again, the old Athearn blue box units. And then the next step up would be the old P1K or Proto 1000 units, the old Lifelikes. Again, you can find those often for $20 on up. I get, like I said, I've gotten most of my units, and this is all of my locomotives, most of them I've gotten used. So I've gotten very, very few engines new in the box this last run around. This last batch of prosperity we had over the last few years was not quite as good as, say, years past, like the 1980s, where I was able to just walk into a hobby shop with impunity, slap my $20 bill down and go home with an Athearn F7, which was pretty much the only game in town back then. But And of course another $300 in detail parts. But that's my opinion on the F7s. For value and solid performance and reliability, I would stick with the Athearn Blue Box. You can always put a different shell on that Blue Box. If you want a pretty shell and you've got a pretty shell, you can buy shells from Intermountain and put them on the Athearn Blue Box frame. You can buy shells, well, if you can get shells from Bowser, you can get really nice F3 shells from them. Highliners, if you can find them anywhere. Talk about one that's hard to find. Even my dealer can't get them, even though Walthers says they carry them. Again, the fill rate on my dealer on Dana's orders is like 10%. So, and then they want an arm and a leg. Go figure. Anyway, that's my opinion on the F units. Until next time, happy railroading.